Agribusiness brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. It works for everyone.
Tim, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
How serious of an issue is weed control today?
It's become much more prevalent over the last several years with the advent of glyphosate-resistant and tolerant weed species. What used to be a very easy system with the Roundup herbicide technology system has become much more challenged with those species developing resistance. And we're looking at bringing in more foundation weed controls or residual weed control applications to help manage and effectively control those weeds before they take yield from the growers in the area.
Now, what about Kansas? I mean, what are some of the threats that you think are threatening fields in Kansas?
When you look at some of the problematic weeds, especially in corn, you're looking at the amaranth species as primary pigweed, water hemp, then you get into some mare's tail. There might be some Canada thistle or kochia as well. From that standpoint, there are some problematic weeds in that area.
Now, how prevalent is it? I mean, is this something that is starting to catch up with us now?
Yeah, I would say especially with the amaranth species, the pigweed, we're getting a lot of resistance developed in those types, and that's where Sure Start Off Foundation herbicide chemistry for corn steps into play and provides very effective control on those type of species, as well as over 60 different grasses for growers producing field corn. Yeah. As you look at the adoption of the glyphosate or Roundup Ready cropping system over the last 10 to 15 years, we became very reliant. It was a very easy to use process. Good genetics were brought through the system. So growers relied very heavily on that product concept and systems approach, but we're relying too much on glyphosate-only treatments in those applications. And as with anything else over time, Mother Nature will eventually win and catch up with us. So we've really got to break up that mode of action or those chemistries that we're applying out in that field to help deplete that weed bed that's been established of those resistant type biotypes. A corn producer has lots of options out there in the marketplace, but when you're looking for foundation control in corn, you're looking for some type of residual product. And in our lineup, you're looking at Sure Start, which is our foundation product. It was designed specifically for Roundup Ready corn to go in as a foundation treatment, then to be followed with a post-application of glyphosate to complete that package in corn. When you talk soybeans, you're looking at our Sonic herbicide, same concept. It's designed specifically for pre-emergent, cannot go on post, and then to be followed by a post-glyphosate application. So in either crop system, Dogger Sciences does provide you with some great foundation chemistry. Both products have multiple modes of action to help fight glyphosate-resistant and hard-to-control weeds. When you look at advancements in herbicides, we've done a great job in taking our current flagship product with the Sure Start in corn as we look down the path towards the advent of Enlist and bringing that technology forward in an entire cropping system. The whole concept is, again, about fighting resistance and managing resistance. And if we can come in and get growers to put in an early foundation chemistry and then follow that up as a sequential post-application of Enlist, which is our 2,4-D product and glyphosate together, provides an outstanding systems approach to truly managing glyphosate-resistant weeds in the field. When you're looking at that, you're throwing about 7 different modes of action at that weed species, which again makes it very hard for those to become tolerant when you're throwing that many different modes of action at them. When you look at some of our past chemistry in our Keystone family of products, you were talking quarts, 2 quarts up to 4. With the new Sure Start product line that we've launched in 2007, you're getting about a 1.75 to about 2¼ pints. So a very, very user-friendly use rate compared to our previous product lines. And again, you've got 3 different chemistries or modes of action out there that provide great control and efficacy on the weeds in the area.
Can I keep you around for a couple minutes? I got some more questions for you. Perfect.
Agribusiness brought to you by Briggs Dodge Business Link. We keep your business rolling.
Tim, thank you for staying with us. I appreciate it. We got lucky on weather today.
We did.
Yeah,
we did.
From what I've heard, we've got lucky on weather. How does Sure Start help farmers with weather delays and breakdowns as far as equipment goes?
And when you look at its flexibility and application window, that's really where it can help the grower and the producer. It's got a very good window of application from early pre-plant all the way up until post-emerged 11-inch tall corn. So again, when you get into those unexpected conditions where you get the crop planted and you get a lot of rain and you haven't had a chance to get back in, it allows you to do that. but ideally we like to see guys throw it down as a pre in a Roundup Ready Systems approach, followed by a post-application glyphosate. But again, emphasizing you've got that window that if Mother Nature throws you a curveball, you can react and have the flexibility with that product.
Tim, a grower who has just used glyphosate only, what are the benefits to using Sure Start now? Yeah,
when you look at the advent of resistant weeds and what's happened over the last several years, that's the challenge. We've used a great product concept, and unfortunately we used it too much or too repetitively on multiple crops in multiple applications, and over time they've developed resistance because that's all we've thrown at them. So the benefit of using any of our foundation herbicides, whether it's Sure Start in corn or it's Sonic, which is our pre-residual in soybeans, provides the grower the opportunity to throw multiple modes of action or new active ingredients towards those weed species if they've been in a glyphosate-only application, and really allows them to help knock down the potential or greatly reduce the potential for those weeds becoming resistant.
Tim, throughout the growing season, how does Sure Start help keep fields profitable?
Well, and that's the main piece of information that every grower needs to understand, that in history, having a glyphosate by glyphosate only application program, a lot of guys were waiting till weeds got up to a certain height to come out and make that post-glyphosate application. And the problem with that is you're allowing those weeds to get established early, which is taking nutrients, water away from that crop and reducing yield. So that's the whole concept and benefit, that if we can come in and get growers to put down that early pre-residual, gives them up to 6 weeks control or activity after application, keeps that field free of weeds until that crop is up tall enough to emerge in canopy, and then come back, if not with that post-glyphosate application, to pick up any stragglers. But the main emphasis is early weed protection to enhance yield in the field. And several universities' studies will talk about different residual herbicides, but in general you're looking at about a 7% yield benefit if you're using a residual down, which again with Sure Start is our foundation in corn, Sonic our foundation in soybeans. You've got great opportunities there to do that and keep your fields clean. I would say what you're seeing is, again, it's all about yield protection. And we've made tremendous strides in genetics and in breeding on the seed side, and those things are playing through with the Smart Stacks, now with our Enlist system and bringing that technology into the crop. Then you throw that on with the chemistry, again with Sure Start as a foundation, followed by Enlist as a post-application. Great systems approach, and yes, the goal there is to continue to enhance that yield and allow those plants to reach their full development potential or yield potential.
If someone had questions about Sure Start, where could they get those answers?
They can absolutely go to surestart.com or DoggerSciences.com, or they can get a hold of their local retailer and their Dogger Sciences rep.